You know what? It was called Twitter, then it was called X, and by 3310, they renamed it to what everyone thought about the social media platform. Why?
Wacka, wacka, wacka.
And there's the coldest of cold openings the way we usually do it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good
I'll
evening,
call your
everybody.
opening.
Well, this is a family podcast. Let's be careful there. Welcome to episode number 238 of the Loose Screws podcast, the loosest and screwiest Elite Dangerous podcast on the intertubes. Tonight is June 13th, 2024.
3310.
10 million.
Getting so much better at that. Almost on cue for that.
You're welcome.
All right. I am Commander Nurgle. Joining me tonight are Commander Audaxius.
You know, the problem with Scotland is that there's too many Scots.
Commander Blooming Wind.
I can't top that.
Commander Lark Shadow.
It's only a family podcast until the pants come off.
Okay, Tubin.
Oh, and possibly at some point in the distant future, Jay Intrax.
That's
All
amazing.
right.
So we'll see.
Yep.
That's amazing. Maybe we may be it may be just the four of us unhinged as normal, or Mommy Trax may be here to keep us on the rails. That remains to be seen.
I was going to say, generally, when he's been on the podcast, the rails haven't mattered then either, but
Yeah, well, we need to maintain the illusion.
fair enough.
All right, so let's go around the table and see what's going on with our crazy bunch of commanders. What's up, Commander Audaxius?
Oh, I am an agent of death and destruction in a certain conflict in certain space in game. And I'm continuing my love-hate relationship with the Federal Corvette because it gets results, but it's not interesting. So
I would agree with that statement.
yeah, and socially, I am loving this continual back and forth kind of shit talk feedback we have with Lave Radio. Hence my cold opening. They keep the commentary on my impressions is it just they think they're going to put out the fire, but they keep fueling the fire. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah. So that's what's up in old Daxie's house.
It's like by acknowledging you, they encourage you to do it even more.
Isn't there a word for that? A phenomenon on the internet? Someone's acting like a what's it? A
It's the
role?
Streisand effect.
I was going to say an ass.
Oh, thanks, Lark. I was going to say troll, but you had to go take it too far. All right, that's what's up.
All right,
All
Commander
right.
Blooming Wind, how about you?
I'm kind of doing similar things to Daxi. Undisclosed murder hoboing. And
I think we're all doing similar things.
I think we're all doing similar things. Just can't talk about it. And in real life, I am just answering service call tonight. So I'm hopefully won't, but might get interrupted by something. Those things are always ridiculous. And Mrs. Blooming Wind is out of town. She's up helping with her father up in Connecticut. He has a doctor's appointment tomorrow, and her sister's going out of town. So, it's just me and the
father-in-law as
kiddos.
well.
Yeah, it's me and the kiddos are all grown up, so they don't want anything to do with me. So here we go.
You're
I'm
left
here.
on your own.
I'm left on my own.
Dad,
Yeah.
Damn.
go to your podcast, Dad.
Just like tonight, Mommy and Daddy aren't here. Crazy Uncle isn't even here. We're all on our own.
My kids definitely need a crazy uncle.
I think
Careful
Lark
what you
can
ask
fill
for.
that role, yeah. We have a couple of people in the Discord that could fill the bill.
They could.
Yeah. Three of them happen to be on the podcast with Blooming Wind tonight.
Hey, watch it, bud.
Oh, all right. Commander Lark Shadow, what about you?
I have been doing undisclosed murder hoboing, except it's not new to me. I was born in it because I learned how to do it from Bard.
There's a blast.
Oh,
Yeah,
Bard,
he is.
we missed you.
We miss you, buddy. Aside from that, Life's just been trying to be as cruise control at work as I can because I have a week vacation coming up on the first week of July, and I cannot freaking wait.
Cool. Just go ahead and retire every day's a vacation.
Hell yeah.
No, they don't call it retiring when you're in my situation. They call it homelessness.
Oof.
Okay.
Too soon.
Yeah.
White
Yeah.
dwarf.
You got to make sure you're financially stable first. Absolutely. I like the rest of us, I've been doing a whole bunch of redacted in redacted to try to fight redacted. And I think
Redacted.
redacted, yeah, and got on
Redacted.
this, and it actually shocked me because I got on this afternoon, I did some stuff, and I got a whole bunch of, man, you've been busy. It's like, really? I only played for like an hour and a half. It's all in how you manage your time.
Quality over quantity.
Try to, because I don't
Name
have
of
a
the
lot
game.
of time. Yeah.
Mhm.
What is this managing time you speak of?
Yeah, well, I try. I don't
I'll
always
send,
succeed.
I got a book on it, Lark. I'll send it to you.
Is
There
it
you
possible
go.
to learn this power?
That's what we'll call it. Yeah, and not much else going on. Just trying to take it easy.
How are the yard projects?
Got
Yes.
stalled because it was 96 degrees today,
Woof.
and nobody's doing that shit.
Poor baby. I think it was 111 yesterday.
Yeah,
man, but it was a dry heat where you are.
Like negative 3%.
See, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, that's fair.
When you
fair.
walk into the shade and it's just as hot as standing in the blazing sun because of the humidity,
That's
and I
brutal.
don't want to hear it.
That's brutal.
And my wife and I just got our summer archery camp scheduled. So we're going to do 4 days the end of this month. And then we're going to be in Austin the last week of July, which is going to be, she's going down there for a teacher conference, and I'm just tagging along to make a vacation out of it. But Austin, Texas, the last week of July.
Well, yeehaw, partner.
Yes, stifling is a word for it. Of course, she's excited because neither one of us has ever been there. She's like, and she's looked up all this stuff on the internet about places we can go and things we can do. We both like to hike. So she's looked up all these places we can go hiking. And like, do you realize where we're going to be? It's going to be hot.
You're going to be swimming.
I mean, hot.
Yeah, this vacation I have coming up, my wife and I are spending a week in the Seattle area. So I'm really excited for that. And the only reason I bring that up is because it's going to be interesting since it's so humid there. And where I live in Idaho, the average humidity gets like 10, 12%. On a 50% day, everyone here is dying. So I feel for you, nerds.
Well, it's funny because we're planning what we're going to do on this trip, and she's looking at places to go hike in the 175-degree heat, and I'm looking for best Mexican restaurants in Austin, Texas.
That's where you hike to. You hike to a Mexican restaurant.
You hike to the restaurant.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Hiking right down the sidewalk,
and then take an Uber home. But, I'm both looking forward to that and not looking forward to that at the same time.
Yeah. My condolences to your sweat glands.
Yeah, because it's going to be. We seem because she's a teacher. It seems to be we're always doing this where we're going on vacation in the middle or end of July, and it's always god awful hot.
Yeah,
I mean, we went to Kansas City, Missouri a few years ago, and it was 108 degrees.
Jesus,
really?
And for our UK and other assorted European listeners, to put that in perspective, it's generally in these areas between 32 and 40 degrees Celsius with very high humidity.
Yeah. I think Nurgle, he's going to be hiking in 3 stone, if that helps them understand.
Well, in humidity like that, can't you just put some
works,
water waders on and just float around? Or
No, but you need a
at least until the heat broils the inner tube.
Yeah. Oof.
All right. Well,
Yeah, moving on.
Back at you, Nurgle. What about you?
Yeah. That was it.
That's it. Oh, that was it. Oh,
that was it.
I swear I'm paying attention.
That doesn't make it true.
Yep. Well, I'm not in court, so I can do that.
You need me to call you in some Adderall?
Now, I've got 2 ADD kids and an ADD wife. I have stuff available if I want it.
Oh, no wonder you manage me so well. That makes perfect sense.
You got the whole alphabet.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's stop talking about stealing our loved one's medication and move on to a squad update.
You need to look up the thing or too low energy.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. So there are a couple of elections in Bagalis and Yen Ti. There are wars in Tamor, BD plus 44, 4389, and Xians. You know what to do, people, and you know why we need to do what we need to do. So all the details are in the standing orders, which are on hiatus, or the Loose Screws Factions channel, or just reach out to me, Nurgle, or Oblivious if you have questions, and we'll tell you what to do. Because we don't want to talk about it.
And frankly, it's kind of fluid sometimes. Trying to, because there's just a lot going on. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Boys, I just lucked the hell out. So right before we started the podcast, I was complaining about the fact that I took a delivery mission that was 160 some odd light years away, and I'm in a fully loaded T10 full of gold. I get here, and it turns out the place I'm delivering to is a planetary installation.
Oof.
A settlement, to be exact. It does have large pads.
Thank God.
I lucked the heck out. I was so afraid it was only going to have mediums, and I'd be sitting in the station waiting for my Python.
And
shoot.
Joining us in progress, JN
Oh my
Tracks.
Hi. How's it going?
There he
it's going.
is, Mr. America.
Wow.
Did this turn
Mr.
into a
Ohio.
musical?
Or is it Mr. Midwest?
Mr. Ohio.
I don't get the whole country.
Round in the middle.
Midwest is not the whole country.
Hey,
He's high in the middle and round on both ends.
We all got to start somewhere.
Wow.
Oh, but we just finished a squad update, so go back and tell us how your week has gone.
Oh, my week. Okay. Sorry I'm late. Bit of a kerfuffle, a hullabaloo, if you will, but everyone's fine.
Okay.
No details because HIPAA and all that.
As long as it wasn't a Donnybrook.
It was not Donnybrook was avoided.
Good.
Yeah. No, my wife had something. She was just needed to decompress and talk and stuff like that. And yes, she's a therapist, so even I'm not allowed to know identifying details. But we still find ways to talk about it if we have to.
If my wife worked with hippos, I'd still find a way to talk to her about it too. So,
yeah, I'm sure you would. What have I done? Not a whole lot. Haven't played Elite much, and I know that sucks, but oh well. One interesting thing was at work I got contacted again by Penguin Random House for an audiobook production, and I had done something for them last year where there was a voice actor who was in my locality, right, and they needed the studio. And it was a very short session. It was not a big invoice, and it took them 6 months to pay it. And I was pestering various people on email, basically like it's these giant, media corporations. They have these procedures, like you do the thing, you send the files on the day, multiple times throughout the day, if possible, when you're working remote with these people and the producers on Zoom and all this stuff's going on, and then send the invoice at the end. And I'm like, 30 days is totally reasonable. And it's a big company. I give the benefit of the doubt to that. It's not like some schmo off the street that I would require a deposit from or something. You know what I mean? I just ignore all that. And I was chasing them and getting my emails ignored and stuff for like 6 months, and I finally rang enough bells and it got paid. And so, I was like, I was very surprised when they reached back out to me again, and I was like, okay, so now is my opportunity, right, to stand up for myself as a small time, like solo freelancer. And so I said, I'd be happy to do this session for you, but I'm not sending you any media files until the invoice is paid this time, because this happened to me last time, politely, and said, like, this happened, It took 6 months. And I just thought, okay, that's fine. They're just going to move on, right? They're not going to, a company like this isn't going to make a move on that. But to my surprise, they basically, like, 2 or 3 other people started emailing me all of a sudden and asked me details and had me fill out forms and basically put me in some kind of different system, for immediate invoice payment. And they basically asked me to invoice them in advance for the session that's going to be on the 24th.
Wow.
That's a compliment.
It hasn't paid out yet, but they have a couple of weeks. Right? So as long as it's but I don't know. I stuck to my guns. And, people think, oh, it's like a big company, you should like really be excited to work for them. But it's like, it actually doesn't earn me anything to work for. I'm not doing, you know what I mean? I don't get exposure for working for them. Not really. I mean, I put it on my I put it on my CV, so to speak. But I don't know. People don't ask you that stuff really much. Anyway,
this publisher offers to pay you an exposure.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. What I earn from this work is actually just the money. So,
and granted,
that's the important part.
And granted, you haven't gotten paid anything yet, but you're at least a couple of weeks ahead of where you were last time.
Right.
Right. Exactly. And like, look, if it comes down to it and we're getting down to the day, I have a couple of people who have been like, hey, let me know when this pays, because they've given me the impression that they're very on it. So if it's like 5 days out and it hasn't paid yet, I'll kind of be like, hey, weren't you expecting it before now? Because I really don't want to cause them problems. Like, if they're doing what they appear to be doing and kind of bending over backwards about my request, then I'm certainly willing to bend over backwards to make sure their session goes well and they get everything that they needed and everything. So that would include sending them the files when they want it. But anyway, hopefully everything's going to work out. But I was very, very surprised, and I expected that they would just tell me to take a hike, but they didn't.
I would have too. So hey, maybe they actually do want to do better.
Maybe I'm the only reasonable studio in Cincinnati anymore, because COVID took out the pandemic seemed to take out a few places that I knew about.
Maybe you're cheap.
I sense a hint
maybe
of
I am.
I think you got some leverage you could pull.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, my invoice this time isn't as small either, because I can think that was probably a bit of a mistake the first time. But they also said that they would need somewhere between half a day and a day. And I was like, well, that's a short book as books go, but like, okay. The last session was very short too, but it was just like it was a part in a multi-actor production. Anyway, I have no idea what this is. This appears to be a book, but it's very short. A half a day to a day they needed. And then when I invoiced them for a day then, right? I'm like, okay, you're going to get a whole day in my studio. Here's the invoice, because obviously that's what I have to do. And then when they actually confirmed the date, they booked between 10 and 12. So they want the studio for 2 hours. And I'm like, okay. All
right, Mr. Trax.
I mean, look, I'll stay late. I'll get it done for you.
Dude talks fast.
All right, Mr. Trax, exactly. We're sending you the script for Run, Spot, Run.
Oh man. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. It's going to go down on Monday the 24th. So,
well, I hope they live up to their obligations.
Me too. I hope I don't have to send an awkward email.
Mm-hmm.
Or anything worse.
Yep.
So anyway.
Anyway, let's go on and do a Galnet update. Commander Lark Shadow.
Galnet.
There's actually Galnet news.
There's a couple of Galnets. I've got Galnet squared over here.
Yeah, but one of them is just the what am I trying to say here? The plotless CG happened.
Right.
No,
Trust me. There's a plot there. We'll get to that.
Chat GPT CG.
I'm with Daxley on this.
Yeah.
That is
Too
the
many
Chat
letters.
GPT.
That is the Chat GPT CG. An intern popped it out in less than 5 minutes, and then he went on break.
See, and I don't think so. I think it's Hans moving, and here's why.
Okay.
All right.
Mhm.
So we had a CG happen. I can't remember if Scott talked about last time or not, because of the timing. But there was a CG to protect some of Jerome Archer's and Hudson stations from pirate attack, as well as deliver relief supplies and stuff to them. For some acrylic paint for either your gunship or your Federal Corvette. I will say the paints look nice, but I didn't bother. In between the CG running.
So wait, what's the plot then?
Yeah,
You said
I'll get back to it because I go in order.
All right.
In between, while the CG was running, Aegis. How do you say that?
Whatever.
Aegis.
It's AE, so it's gonna be that weird syllable, right?
So Salvation Simps came out,
Oh,
and
it's pronounced Krite.
I was going to say it's pronounced Krite. You beat me to it.
I hate you both. So Aegis came out and was talking about how they're worried about the Thargoid behavior changing, because when the Titans first got here, it was very aggressive in taking systems, driving out humans, killing, kidnapping, maiming, generally just having a good time. Now that 4 of the Titans have been obliterated, they're suddenly more defensive. They're still trying to take systems, but they aren't reinforcing the systems they take quite as much. They're trying to leave more Thargoids basically available to be around the Titans. And Aegis is concerned that means that they're up to something. What, though, is anybody's guess. If I had to guess, Sao Janae has something to do with it, but that's just speculation.
Are you suggesting she's a bad guy?
No, I'm suggesting that someone's got to lead all these Goid people when that finally happens.
Wouldn't that make her a bad guy?
Would it, though?
Yeah.
Maybe we're the bad guys.
Are we the baddies?
Are we the bad guys?
I'm not asshole? Why is our logo a skull?
Back to the Federation plot. So the CG ended. People got their pains. Blah, 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 blah. Archer had this long, blowhard, winded speech that I just could not be arsed to read. But
it was bad.
But he takes his time to basically bash the president-elect, Felicia Winters. Bash her a lot. And at the very end says, I urge Congress to reconsider allowing Zachary Hudson another term because of Winters' ongoing conspicuous absence, and I want to kill myself and them.
So her conspicuous absence, they wrote in a reason why she went back to her planet.
Conspicuous.
Yeah, basically
otherwise it would
Archer,
be inconspicuous.
Oh, okay. I do know how words work. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, basically what Archer is saying is, how dare the president-elect care about her people in their time of need?
Tell you, man, it must have been a hell of an earthquake. She's been there for like, what, 6 months?
Something like that. It's been a while.
It was like a continent-destroying earthquake.
Okay.
I don't think the earthquake's done. I think that planet is going to explode with Winters on it.
Yeah.
New planetary nebula in the middle of the Federation.
So make the case that this wasn't just the intern.
That's not even what a planetary nebula is.
You're a planetary nebula.
Well, I keep eating the way I have been, and I will be.
Same, bro. Same.
So, Lark, make the case that this wasn't just ChatGPT CG. That's hard to say.
So the last sentence of this most recent Galnet update today is what makes me think it wasn't that.
It was Chat CG.
There we go.
Chat CG.
Chat CG. Yeah. What is the case?
The case is, I think the Federation is very carefully being set up for a civil war. Like straight up.
Okay. Good.
Is that possible?
You mean
because if you look at it, Hudson likes dictatorships and patronages. Felicia Winters likes actual democracy and other governments along those lines. That is not systems that can continue to coexist in a good same place together.
Corporate.
Yeah, but corporate still ain't dictatorship.
I suppose
Yes, shareholders are
there's
not.
philosophical arguments to be be but as far as elite goes, it's not.
Yeah, it is technically different. Yes.
Because the board can put new people in charge. So there you go.
All I want to know is if there's eventually a full-blown Federation civil war, will they let me fight on both sides?
Yeah, the unopposed CGs, can we not?
Well, this is how you fight on both sides.
I would
Pledge to
consider
Archon Delane.
Yeah, I would consider a Federation civil war to be an unopposed CG. No matter who loses, I win.
I love that.
Outstanding.
Outstanding.
And that's what's going on in Galnet. Bunch of shenanigans and whatnot in the Federation.
Federation, blah blah blah. So how about this Thargoid business though? Because I'm still waiting for any of those 3 or is it 4 plot lines to reemerge. Where is my Guardians, please? I would like a 3-way war. I want conflict zones, and fingers crossed, not even behind my back. I think we could be allies with the Thargoids against the new Guardian Salvation threat. It's my dream.
So I think if any of that is going to happen, the remaining Titans have to retreat. And I think that might be what happens after this next one is destroyed, if it even gets that far once it's vulnerable. We'll have to wait and see. There's still like 62 systems around it before we can even try.
Yeah. Well, here's the play, though.
Couple weeks.
Would they make so many behind-the-scenes technical changes if we only had one left to fight?
I don't understand.
They redialed the balance of the war, and they had the in-game explanation for it. Would they go to that trouble if we only had one left to fight and the others retreated?
See, I don't think it would ever have gotten to that. I think they have a plan for how many Titans are going to be taken out before whatever happens, be it 8 or 5 or something in between.
Right.
Either way, I think we're close.
Yeah, I think it could have been 5 3 months ago or 4 months ago if we were more on it, so to speak.
Okay.
I think you've been on call too long. You just said DevDev has a plan.
No, I think they have a plan, and I think that the war has taken longer than they would have liked, and I think they want to release PowerPoint 2.0 and or PowerPlay 2.0.
I agree on that.
No, on Blue and Green, it is PowerPoint. That is what we call it. It's PowerPoint 2.0.
Okay, 3 points.
Yes.
And neither. Okay. Well, so one of them is yes. There's a schedule for when things need to get released, and there's probably a point in the path, and I don't know where it is in the planned Thargoid war path that releasing PowerPoint 2.0 into will be the optimal or whatever, right? But there is, it's like, so what's the development cycle on that? There is also like the thing that they just redid was a lot of simplifying and fixing problems, and it had an effect. There's sort of an overarching effect of, yes, it does seem to be a little easier now, but it was also rebalancing. I mean, they take value away from some things. It's not like they just made everything more valuable toward war progress. They rebalanced it to be more evenly spread across the different modalities or jobs or however you want to call it. So, pulling fourth wall a little bit, like then they throw in a little in-game explanation. Maybe that's related, but I think the bigger thing, everybody's kind of making a bigger deal, I think, than needs to be made about how much easier it is. Like, yeah, it seems to be a little easier, but mostly it's more logical and fairer.
I have a thought along the lines or building on what you were just talking about, Trax. So let's think about how the Thargoid war mechanics are working now that they made it air quote easier. Really, they just made it work basically more like it probably should have, but that's besides the point. Because think about those mechanics, and then think about how well the Goid still being here slots in to also Power Play 2.0 being there at the same time.
I mean, that's a maybe. Hopefully
it's a maybe.
Does.
It just makes me go.
Yeah. It's definitely not. I mean, it's not lost on them, right? It would be silly for them not to have considered it.
To build on your speculation of Goid / Guardian / Salvation / whatever else. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh yeah, I see. I can't remember what my third point was now. Anyway.
Yeah, me either.
Wait, I do. So I think it's an extremely bold move from an MMO development perspective to do the Thargoid destructions the way they did. I was completely shocked that is a sincere live event that you can miss instead of like an instanced thing, all that sort of stuff, that the being time gated, and time gated is not exactly the right word, but you know what I mean? Like that's an extremely bold move. I also think it would, even though they took that step, which very much surprised me, I still think it would be insane for them to put all this away completely. Like, so yes, there definitely something is going to remain. But the thing is, they could still let us kill all 8 and then just generate some more out in what was previously permanent locked space. So it's
exactly.
none of that. Even though we can feel pretty sure, I think, that there still will be Titans out there, because why would you give up all that stuff you made? They don't have to. That doesn't have to mean anything to this plot. They could do anything.
Well, and not just that. It's not like it wouldn't be wasted, because one, you're right, they're going to reuse it somewhere else. But the entire Thargoid War was just a feature test for power play.
Yep.
I mean, that's all it is. They literally, it's a way to test the mechanics for what they're going to put into power play.
Okay.
I mean, not 100%, but they tested a lot of the same mechanics. The preview they gave of Power Play 2.0 a while back is like, okay, well, that's Thargoid War mechanics, basically.
Yeah, you can see, and actually that's getting especially reinforced by the change recently, right? The changes to rebalance. This is what we've learned, and now we're sort of refining it. This is alpha and then beta, and they can refine it further by the time whatever Thargoid thing ends up being at the end of whatever this plot line is. Like, they could have it be in its final form by then, and this whole thing is a long beta test.
Is this just a really long way of saying reskin?
Yes.
I mean, yes, it is a reskin, but it's a good way to do this.
Oh no, I love it.
Hudson's cruisers have that lightning attack. I wonder where they got that idea.
Now that would be a reskin.
No, and what's gonna happen is they're gonna finally redo the PowerPoint JPEGs of the leaders, and Hudson's gonna have 8 fingers, and we will know that AI did the whole thing.
I bet you they can't redo.
I told you so.
I bet
1,000 years in the future, AI still can't do hands right.
It can't do hands, man.
They're hard coded. I promise you, those pictures are hard coded somewhere, and they can't change them.
He's got 2 thumbs. He's got 3 thumbs.
We have an update that like changes like 35 gigs worth of game files, and it's like we finally found those power play portraits and nuked them.
You laugh, but you know I'm right.
So like, wow, this update is 35 gigs, and then afterwards you're gonna be like, my game got smaller by 65 kilobytes.
Yeah, and they changed the pictures. Hurrah!
So everyone memes on the reskin stuff, but I just started thinking about this just now, and there's a reason I think that they're patting themselves on the back so hard with the power play reskins, depending on what power is in charge of your system. Because if you think back to the beginning Thargoid stuff, every single time a Thargoid thing had to happen, there was someone that had to go in and change something and import assets and make sure it was working, QA it, blah, 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 and then on down the line. Now they got it to a point where it happens dynamically based on what the players do. For both Thargoids and now for power play. Freaking pat yourselves on the back, you effers. You did it.
Yeah. I think
they've definitely made significant improvements. I mean, I don't want to deny that at all.
Yeah.
No, that never occurred to me till just now. I'll still meme on the fact that it is just changing the skins, but I mean, freaking good job for getting to the point where we're the ones doing it, not you.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and it does bear saying since apparently this is like a podcast and not just us ranting.
There's a
to be fair, we rant a lot.
No, I'm just saying, like, I think I was thinking that the whole time, but yeah, it bears saying, and none of us did until just then. So great. Now Lark Shadow's the winner.
And that's why I fly the Asp Scout.
And for the people out there who want to see Indra, the next Titan to be taken down, want to see Indra explode, last week they were at 91 control systems. This week they're at 65. So,
yeah,
if we're
two more weeks.
Yeah, about 2 more weeks before we're in a position to see Indra go boom.
And the other, like the non-combat groups, like PDES and in IDA, Operation IDA. PDES.
Oh, I was like, people for the ethical treatment of animals. What?
Nope, not those.
People for the ethical treatment of Thargoids.
They are, hammering on alert systems and things like that, non-combat stuff. So there's often cases for them to move out of Indra and onto future targets and wear things down. And with the way things have been rebalanced, if you're watching those discords, you will be seeing, as I am, that the targets are falling very quickly across the whole front.
Yes, they are. All right. We don't have any dev news. We left the stuff from last week's patch in there for people who didn't get to see it then. We're going to move right on to discussion. Topic.
What on earth are we discussing?
Commander
Mechan's that's what I was already doing. Oh no.
Oh.
Mechan?
Again?
Well, they released a video, yesterday or the day before?
Trial, the day before yesterday, the trial took place. It's a sham. I haven't weighed in at all on this because I managed to dodge the episode you guys were talking about it.
I mean, but can Mechan get a fair trial anywhere in the bubble? I mean, they should have had his trial in Colonia. Because that's the only place where they don't know that's going on with the Thargoid war. So, I mean, they've never used Thargoid out in Colonia.
Here, I'm going to add a link to the notes.
And the scary thing is that Lark Shadow, our person who boned up on this ahead of time by actually watching the video, is currently AFK.
Oh no, I've seen it. No, they did a trial. They got a bunch of people to contribute voice lines and basically did like a machinima of it. And continues the game with the whole thing. And should I just say, like, so basically they do the trial, the defense presents evidence, they interview a AX NPC about how, first of all, the prosecution is interviewing about how horrible it was to be targeted. Were you there, when they started shooting at you, and my buddies didn't make it out and all this other stuff. And then the defense cross-examines and asks them, so did you see any of those messages warning you to get out? He's like, well, yeah, I'm in the chat. I'm always spamming stuff about, where are those Thargoids? Let me at them, shoot the hearts, all that other stuff. I'm spamming chat constantly the whole time I'm in any instance. And he's like, so did you see how many times Mechan told you to leave and stop targeting the hostile Thargoids because you're causing a huge problem? And he's like, oh no, I totally ignore the chat. Gasps in the peanut gallery and everything. It was very effective, but they still found him guilty and sentenced him to prison time on some particular penal colony. And they made a particular point to mention, and you can't just like leave immediately afterwards like normal. You're going to have to actually stay here, which I thought was particularly choice line. But then it ends with apparently a massive assault on the penal colony.
You had it right the first time.
To be continued, I guess. And that's there's the rundown on that. Worth a watch. It's fun.
Somebody did they? So the implication is they busted him out.
I guess so. I guess we'll be getting like something soon.
Commander
but they
Meccan,
had
the fugitive.
Yeah, they had a live event where they got a bunch of people into basically a mass drop, as many people as they could, dropping in from orbital cruise at the same location at the same time, so that they could get this shot of all these ships. And it's like a big fleet scene from Firefly or something,
Yeah.
Y'all thought I was going to say Star Wars, but I wasn't.
No, now you said Firefly, so now I'm
Fuck.
sad.
No,
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
sad for
going to say
Firefly.
Firefly.
I accidentally said Star Wars.
Why'd you cancel it, Fox?
You thought I was going to say Star Trek, but the Force was with me.
Oh God. Thanks.
We all know
Joe.
Dumbledore said that.
So in the next episode of this, is there going to be like the equivalent of Tommy Lee Jones tracking down Meccan as the fugitive?
The fugitive. I don't know. You'd have to ask him where he's going with
It
it.
wasn't me.
Arm pilot.
It was the
Yeah.
NPC with one arm.
It wasn't me. I don't care. I mean,
I'm glad they did the video. I'm glad that like it wasn't actually just people on the internet mad. They planned it and they executed it. I'm glad they did that.
Yeah, well, this is all
I get a kick
this
out
is
of
all
this
a
stuff.
joke because people have to make
Yeah.
content because there's no fucking Galnet.
That said, they still did courtroom role play, and that's the one thing you never do when you're role playing, and so screw them.
I'm sorry.
What?
Why is that? Tell me about that.
What? Wow.
I've
What?
been doing role playing through Dungeons and Dragons, different sci-fi games, whatever have you, for a long, long time. Courtroom role play is the most boring thing I've ever heard of, seen, or participated in my entire freaking life.
I mean,
wow.
no kink shaming, Lark. Come on, man.
So okay,
not a
but
kink unless the pants come off.
so are you suggesting that wasn't scripted?
No, I'm suggesting it was scripted. I'm just still suggesting it's boring.
Okay, because if it's
Fair
scripted,
enough,
it's not
Joe.
role play, is it?
Yeah. It's acting.
It's acting then, which
They
is
are
technically
actors.
different.
Okay, so whose line is it anyway? Acting?
No, that's
That's
acting.
improv.
That's
and,
improv.
and it's not
Hey,
scripted.
what is
so-
improv if not just acting without a script?
Role playing is improv is closer to role playing.
I think role playing and improv are the same thing in my mind.
Like
I think there's probably some overlap.
Yeah.
every
fair.
week on the podcast, I role play that I actually play this game.
Oh, don't give it away yet,
but I
man.
don't-
You're probably
oh,
only
shit.
a few
Oh.
months away from completing your whole opera here.
Ah, frick, that killed me. I'm sorry.
The Daxi
Sorry.
space opera.
It's okay. I'll edit that out.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll get it in post. We'll get it in post.
yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta save the reputation.
Yeah.
You got to give me a clean line to replace it with. So just say something different. Nobody else talk.
Yeah.
Something different.
No, Daxius needs to say something different.
Oh, my
Everybody
bad.
else shut up.
This is the best CG ever.
Yeah, that'll slot in nicely.
That'll work. Yeah. Clip it.
Beautiful.
Actually,
All
we
right.
should clip that. We should clip that because there's going to be another CG and we want to hold him
Yep.
accountable.
Right?
Oh,
I put it on the
God.
soundboard, except nobody uses it. So,
So that's 42 minutes in for your timestamp for that.
yeah,
There you
yeah.
go. All right. Community
All right.
corner?
Any other thoughts? Because I've done nothing.
No,
else.
I made my piece about Meekin well known. Fuck him.
Why do you keep
That's it.
calling him Meekin?
That's Commander Meekin.
It's Meccan. It's
Oh,
Oh my
Meccan.
god.
Yeah, and it's Krite. Krite.
Oh god.
Krite. You say Meckin, I say Meekin. Why don't we all fuck off?
Oh,
Oh my god.
Yep.
We need to do a musical episode.
I would be truly embarrassed
we
if I
do.
thought there was the slightest chance that he would hear this.
Yeah, he's
well, we did invite him to the show.
Are you kidding me? Commander Meekin
Did
is
we?
way too smart to listen to our podcast.
We did when we first started
We
talking
did.
about this. We invited him to come on the show and defend himself.
Who invited him, though?
I
did. You
did.
just say it on the show? Did
Yes.
you reach out to him?
No.
Oh, well, good.
He typed it in general chat and hoped that he's in the Discord.
Meccan is not in our Discord. My embarrassment is averted. Still, so far.
Yeah, we'll do something else to embarrass you. We're good at that.
We really are.
Too good. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So Meccan wrapped up. Is there anything else we need to add as a discussion topic before we try to run away from this?
I'm satisfied.
I think that was more personal information than I needed, but okay.
Anyone paying attention to Buckyball?
We're between races right now.
Yeah.
The new info hasn't been. I know that a trailer for the next race has come out, but I do not think if any other information has come out, then I haven't heard it yet, and I don't have my thumb on that pulse. But there was a trailer which was sort of a preview, and details hadn't been made public yet. Last I heard, which was
correct.
Yeah.
That was like
Tuesday?
a week and a half ago. I think the trailer was talked about on last week's podcast, but I could be misremembering.
Okay.
No, you are correct. It was. All right. I guess we need to wrap this up. So since Trax came in late, we'll let Trax take us out.
Welcome to the Community Corner. Tonight, there's a Ground CZ night hosted by Commander Larkshadow.
Why do I feel
CZ night, but only a few people said they were interested, and no one showed up, so I'm rescheduling it.
And nobody showed up, so it's being rescheduled.
It's your boy rescheduling.
Why do I feel specifically being made fun of right now?
Because you are.
I'm just being exciting.
That's on you, dude.
Yeah, boy! Ground CZs! Come get your mats! Come get your credits!
All right.
Oh,
All right.
no
I'm just ending this right now before it gets too bad.
Before we turn into
All right.
YouTubers, quick.
All right. Yeah, I'm just closing this out. All right. So for Commander Audaxius, Commander Bloomingwind, Commander Larkshadow, the late arriving but awesome anyway, JN Trax, Mommy Trax. I am Commander Nurgle. Our time here is done. We thank you for yours. Everybody say good night.
Good night.
Auf Wiedersehen. Love you.
Love you.